Hello champs, welcome to all of you on my Pyara Sa channel coding from Mumbai. In this video, I am talking about the loops in JavaScript. So this is the fourth video of playlist of loops in JavaScript. Till now, I already talking about the first three types of loop: for loop, while loop as well as the do while loop. Okay, so in this video, I am talking about the usability of loops, means in which condition I have to use which type of loop. Means according to the condition as well as the situation, we have to use different types of loop. So in this video, I'm talking about all the condition, all the circumstances in which we have to use different type of loop. So without any further let's start the video. Hello. So now I start the video. So first of all, I'm talking about the for loop, then while loop, and then the do while loop. Now in for loop, we know already talking about the what is the syntax and how to create a program of for loop. So now when we have to use for loop, the best situation of using the for loop is when we know how many number of times I want to repeat the loop. Understand what I'm saying? If you know how many number of times you want to repeat the loops, at that moment of time you have to use for loop. That is the best case of use the for loop. Understand? Now let's understand the concept of while loop and do while loop. So let's talk about the while loop. So in while loop, whatever code we write, that code are execute. You know the syntax of while loop. But question is, in which condition we have to use while loop? There are many cases in programming, and in that case we did not know how many number of times we want to repeat the code. Understand? Means there are many examples in which we didn't know the number of times I want to repeat the code. At that moment of time we are only use the while loop or do while loop. Understand? Means if you did not know how many number of times you want to repeat the code or repeat the loop, at that time the best use of loops is while loop as a do while loop. Because we are just writing the condition. If this condition is true, then repeat the code. I did not know how many number of times the condition is true, but until the condition is false, then only I just want to get out of the loop. So while loop we are just using for if we didn't know about the how many number of times I want to repeat the loops. Understand? So let's go for the last one, that is the do while loop. When to use do while loop? So the using of while loop as well as a do while loop are completely same, but there are little bit difference. What is difference? Means when I'm talking about the while loop, so if you did not know the number of times, how many number of times you want to repeat the code, so you are able to use the while loop. Same for do while loop. If you want to repeat your code but you did not know how many number of time I want to repeat the loop, so I am simply using the do while loop. But difference is, until the condition is false, then also I want to repeat the loop at least one time. This is the best example, best case of use of the do while loop. Means do while loop is a loop which execute at least one time. Understand? If whether the condition is true or false, at least one time the do while loop are execute. Because condition are checked in the last after executing the code of do block. Understand? So this is the best use of do while loop. Means first case is for loop in which we know how many number of times I want to repeat the code. Second case while loop in which I didn't know about the how many number of times I want to repeat the code, but only I know the condition when the particular condition is true, then also I just want to repeat the code. And third is the most important, do while loop, when we are not know how many number of times I want to repeat the code, as well as if condition is false, then also I want to repeat the loop at least one time. Means my requirement is if condition is true, then execute the loop till number of times when the condition is true. But if condition is false, then also I want to execute the loop at least one time. So these are the cases, these are the situation. According to the situation, according to the condition, we have to use for loop, while loop as well as the do while loop. I think your concept about the usability of while loop, do while loop as a for loop according to the situation are clear in this particular video. So thanks for watching and see you in next one.